Well, we're going to be talking about a couple of subjects tonight. I'm going to kind of give you an overview of what's happening with the market here and across the country, kind of give you an update on that. Also, I'm going to talk a little bit tonight about the MLS. What is the multiple listing service is? It's been in the news. The Chronicle did an article on it before I left. They did an article this morning. I think it's in today's paper on the MLS policy 8.0. So we're going to talk about the MLS. There's some talk, and I talked with Marla about this last week, that some people are pushing that the MLS is bad for sellers, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. The numbers here again are 281-837-2222. I'm going to give you the real deal and give you my thoughts, and I'm going to tell you whether or not that policy passed. The numbers here again, 281-837-2222. This show is brought to you by American Title with Shirlene Clancy, and my favorite loan, Prosperity Bank, the UHOP loan. Best loan in town, hands down. The deal is, as long as you can qualify for it, it is a great, great loan out there, and it's to help first-time home buyers, which one of the biggest things that hold first-time home buyers back is the point of how much money do you have enough money saved to buy a house? And the cost has gone up tremendously on first-time home buyers. And so the UHOP loan kind of takes care of that, lowers your payments by a couple of $100 because you have no MI. But I want to thank our sponsors, Prosperity Bank and American Title, for keeping the Real Estate Corner on the air. The numbers again, 281-837-2222. Interest rates have been holding their own. They're actually below 4%. I will share this with you that the home ownership in the African American community is up. It's gone up, I think, to 41%. So I was glad it had gotten down to 40.6. Now I believe it's a little over 41%. So people are listening. People are trying to take advantage of this marketplace. And I can't think of any better way to take advantage of it at a 3.7, 3.8, 3.9. And for those who need down payment assistance, you're always going to get a little bit higher interest rate, guys. And a lot of that depends on how much down payment assistance you're going to need, with just 3%, 4%, 5%, some of them are 7%. And for those who are new to my show, when I talk about percentage, so I always like to use it as use round numbers. If it's 200,000 and I'm giving you, you're getting 3%, that's $6,000 that an agency is giving you to help you purchase a home. The numbers here again are 281-837-2222. Give us a call. All our lines are open. I am so glad to be back here in Houston from San Francisco. What else did I see there when I was there in San Francisco? Lots of things. A lot of new products and services are going out. As I told you, I'm a new Curbio agent with Curbio, and I am, and what Curbio does, and I'm a certified agent with them, is that they make their money because they give you the money to rehab your house so you can sell it. And no money is out of your pocket. And they do it. They make their money. I always like to tell you where people make their money. They make their money in the cost of repairs. But they're getting a 200% return on what they're seeing with their clients and customers. They're getting a 200% return on repairs. Numbers again, 281-837-2222. Also, you can catch us here every Saturday morning on Iconic TV. That's 15.10. So I know you guys are stuck in traffic. I just came back from a listing appointment out in Humble, and driving back, and the traffic was horrible. I don't know how y'all do that every day, personally, but the traffic was horrible coming back, going back out and coming back in. But I wanted to share this with you that, you know, we've got listings that are available. If you want to live closer in, I've got lots of listings that are available. I've got a beautiful new home over on Shamara Street over in Sunnyside. 193,000. We've got the houses over in Independent Heights that are available to you. I've got 4 listings over there ranging from 289 to 3 1/4. in that area. So if you want to live close in, want to be by Whole Food 360, all of that, 610, near the Heights, everything is right there. I've got some new listings coming up that are going to be on the affordable side on it. You can also follow me on Facebook. Just go out and see my Facebook site. You can go in to our Facebook site. We give a lot of information on our Facebook sites out there. You can also go to the realestatecorner.info website. Let me repeat that. www.realestatecorner.info website. And you can search for homes on that website. Yes, you can search for homes on that website, www.realestatecorner.info. Numbers again, 281-837-2222. Give us a call. All our lines are open. We've got an open line tonight. So anything that you'd like to talk about in real estate, we're going to talk. And I'm going to go over Keeping Current Matters tonight. In the Keeping Current Matters site, I'm going to just kind of give you an overview of what's happening with real estate. But let's start off with the new rule that MLS national policy just came. I sat on I was chair of the committee that came up with this policy, and I'll tell you in just a few minutes what happened with it. But let's talk about it a little bit. Let me tell you what the multiple listing service is. The multiple listing service, which is MLS, is a cooperative between competitors that allow competitors to put their houses all in one place so buyers and sellers can achieve their dream home. So we all get together and put our houses in, and buyers can see them, sellers can see their houses or look for new homes. It's also a very competitive situation because we're actually competitors. So you can see what houses, now that you can put up to 50 pictures on a home that goes into those sites. You can actually, your realtor can send you information, or you can go to har.com or go to my site, and we can give you a link that you can have on your cell phone. And if you sign up with me, you actually will get sold data. So when you drive up in a neighborhood, all of that comes from competitors putting all their listings in one place. So the MLS system is pro-consumer, whether you're a buyer or seller, because if you are a buyer, it allows you to be exposed to all the properties that are available to you. If you are a seller, it maximizes all helps you get all your equity because it exposes to more people. It's about fair housing. The MLS system helps eliminate discrimination in fair housing, and also helps with fair housing. And when I say that, what the rule of 8.0 had to deal with was eliminating pocket listings. And I get calls from investors all the time saying, hey, Shad, if you got something before it goes on the market, give me a call. And I tell every investor who calls me that my role is to get the highest and best price for my sellers. And I can't do that if it's not exposed to everybody. And so if you want to send me an offer over on it, that's fine. If I don't get a better price than what I think I might get, we'll definitely take a look at your offer. For sellers, it really does help them maximize their equity. So instead of me having 20 people or 200 people looking at it, in the city of Houston, I've got 40,000 people looking at it. So where do you think you're going to get your best price and get it sold the quickest? Now, I will tell you there are luxury home realtors who just deal with luxury homes. Well, I can tell you right now, selling a luxury home to me is no different than selling any other house. Of course, you've got buyers of different temperaments, so you probably have to understand those temperaments of those different buyers and sellers. But in the end, it's about bringing a buyer together and a seller together and maximizing their needs and wants, and so that everybody walks away in that transaction. So some of the opponents to eliminating pocket listings said that celebrities or people that are out there don't want people to know they're selling their house. So they want it, that's what they would use pocket listings for. So no one would know in the neighborhood that they're selling, or they're going through a divorce. They don't want anybody to know that they're going through a divorce and they're selling a house. Well, in the celebrity situation, most of those celebrities have their houses in trust or LLCs. So no one knows, and I've never seen anybody advertise that I'm selling Tom Cruise's house, or I'm selling Warren Moon's house, or I'm selling Jose Tuve's home. We just don't do it that way. And so privacy is very, very important. But that is where pocket listings, and you see pocket listings quite a bit in the luxury market more than any other market. You'll see it in the luxury market. But those are some of the things that people say. Then they'll say, well, Texas is a non-disclosure state. I don't want anybody knowing what I'm paid for my property on there. Well, in the state of Texas, if you put it in the MLS, we have to put the sold data in there. And so that's a rule. And if you don't want your house in MLS, then that's a choice that you make as a seller. And so there's been some take where agents will put houses in, and once they sell, pull them out. You don't see that in the middle market, but you do see it a lot in the higher end market, because they don't want the appraisal districts to know what's going on and what they sold, what the houses sold for, because they don't want to pay taxes on that sales price. You know, and I've always said on this show for many, many years, we don't need to pay more taxes. We just need everybody to pay their fair share. And so I've seen situations, and if you've been watching or listening to my show for a long time, you've heard me say that if you live in Cashmere Garden, your taxes have gone up higher than if you lived in River Oaks. If you lived in West U, your taxes in Memorial went up less than if you lived in West U or Bel Air. And I've actually seen homes tax value go down in certain neighborhoods that you know the values are up. So, you know, I don't think that's a valid reason to have pocket listings. Now, are there situations where the seller doesn't want anybody to know that their house is on the market? Sure there are. But those are far and in between. Those are not everyday occurrence. That is not doing business like this all the time. It is something that is very rare when a seller doesn't want no one to know that he's selling. But there are situations out there that causes that to be. And then they had the waiver that you could waive and say, I don't want my house in being publicly marketed. Now, we do have an opt-out for internet. So your agent or your realtor could go and check a box and say, I don't want my house to go to Zillow. I don't want my house to go to Realtor.com. I don't want my house to go to Homes.com. Or check it out. I don't want it on the internet at all. Or HAR.com. So there's ways to opt out of sending your house so no one would know. It would be in MLS, but no one would know that your home is available. So those are some situations that are there. I was talking to a good friend today, and he's handled some dastardly houses that, and I won't go through some of them, but he didn't even want the address to be known because the house has been stigmatized. So there are some situations are there. So the new rule says, and if the new rule on pocket listings basically says that if you put your house, if you publicly market your home, if the realtor put a sign in the yard, coming soon, put a flyer in his window, coming, put it on Facebook, coming soon, or simply call another agent from another company, then it needs to be, they have 1 day to put it in MLS or be fined. That's what the new rule says. And that reason is to eliminate pocket listings. Now, office exclusives. Now, what an office exclusive is that you tell your agent, I just want your office to handle. I don't want anybody else showing this property but your office and handling it. So office exclusives are still there. So your office could have exclusives that only person knows about it is you and your agents in your office, your fellow agents in the office. But the moment you call me and say, Shad, I got this listing, do you have a buyer for it? Then it automatically needs to go into the MLS because I'm outside of your office. So that was the rule, and it was very contingent. I was feeling maybe it would pass 50-50. There were a lot of big brokers that were against it. There were a lot of big brokers for it. Some of them said it leveled the playing field because it gave everybody an opportunity to see those properties, and it gave every seller to maximize their monies. So guys, this was the big deal. We're gonna take a break, and when we come back, I'm gonna tell you what happened in the meeting on yesterday and give you some insight in why it's good for you. Be right back with the Real Estate Corner. Welcome back to the Real Estate Corner. We've got Joe on line one. Let's go ahead and take a call from Joe. And Joe, thank you for being patient and holding. How can I help you?
You're welcome, sir. I was calling to find out what would be a fair price for a 5,000 square foot lot in the greater Fifth Ward.
Depending on where it's located in Fifth Ward, but I would probably say, Joe, anywhere between $30,000 to $100,000. It just depending on where it's located at.
Oh, okay, yeah, because it's about 5 minutes from I-10 and about 8 minutes from 59.
Yeah. Is it in Denver Harbor?
No, it's right there in Fifth Ward off of Lockwood and Lounge.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right at the hub in there. And so I would,
Yeah,
go ahead.
I'm listening.
Yeah, I would probably say it could be anywhere between 30 to 100. 100 might be pushing it, but it just depends on what's around it. Do you have a nice house across the street or in front? It just depends. But I would probably say anywhere between $30,000 to $100,000. Those lots over in Fifth Ward have gone up tremendously, and because I believe Fifth Ward is the next frontier. But a lot depends on what's around it.
Okay, yeah, because they've got a couple of offers and they only offering 40,000. So I was just wondering.
Well, that's why you would hire me, Joe, to help you get the highest and best price.
Okay, well, I got your number.
Yeah, please give me a call. That was a softball for me, Joe. I had to, that's what my role is to do, is get you the highest and best price, run the comps. Comps are the comparables of lots that have sold in the area, and we've sold a few lots over there, but I would think 40,000 would be a little low. I should be able to do better than that.
Okay then. All righty. Well, I got your number.
Give me a call. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate you listening.
All right. You're welcome, sir. Thank you. Bye.
Hey, guys, you can catch us on Iconic TV on Saturday morning on 15.10. We come on at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning, and then 8 o'clock on Saturday morning and 8 o'clock Sunday night. So you can reach us on Iconic, and of course now Iconic is on Roku and TV also. They're working on Apple. So we're going to be every place that you can watch this show. You can also go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. And basically what you see is this show. You're hearing it live if you're in your car or sitting at home listening to me. But on Saturday and Sunday, we tape the show. So you see the same show. It's just been taped. And you can actually see inserts. You can see videos. You can see things, my future homes of the month or weeks. You can see all of that on the TV. The numbers again, 281-837-2222. I hope all the veterans I hope everybody had a great Veterans Day. And my hat goes off to the veterans, those who are willing to sacrifice for all of us to have our freedoms here. I surely do appreciate you, whether you're in the Coast Guard, Army, Marines, Navy. I just want to tell you thank you for your service and all the things that you have done to help keep this country safe. And my hat's just off to you, and especially African-American soldiers who didn't have the rights back home, and they went and fought for other people's rights in other countries. So I just want to say thank you for it. It takes a very, very strong person to go and be willing to give their lives up and for rights that they don't have back at home. And of course, we've improved things and things have gotten a whole lot better, but it just makes you really appreciate those soldiers in World War I and World War II. Makes you appreciate the African-American soldiers in the Civil War. It makes you appreciate the Korean War. It makes you appreciate what happened in Vietnam, appreciate those who fought in Vietnam, and so on and so on. Normally, what happens in real estate with the practitioners, I normally don't talk that much about here because it doesn't really affect, but this actually does affect consumers, and that's why I wanted to talk about it. So we had a contentious meeting. We had a lot of people in favor of the new rule, and we had a lot of people who were not in favor of the new rule. We went back and forth. We heard every argument that was there. The advisory board that I chair, it was a cross section of MLS execs. It was a cross section of everyday agents who are working in the field. It was there were also MLS board of directors who own big MLSs. It was really a good cross section, and we vetted it and vetted it. And so the rules basically says, if you advertise your listing to the public, it needs to be in MLS. And you have 1 day to do it. Well, the vote went up, and we didn't know which way it was going because you were hearing hall talk and everything. I didn't know. I know I talked to the Region 10, which is Texas, Louisiana. They asked me to come in and talk with them, and I did. Took a lot of arrows that day. And then I talked early that morning to the Texas NAR directors who were voting on this issue and gave them some ins and outs. I heard a lot from my farm and ranch guys, loud and clear, that this rule does not affect new home sales, doesn't really affect lots, doesn't affect farm and ranch, because your MLS locally determines whether or not it's farm or ranch. So yes, you could have a 50-acre property, a luxury home on 50 acres or a regular house on 50 acres, and that doesn't mean it's a ranch. So it's determined by you got us locally. But to get down to the bottom line, guys, is that it was called for the question because the comments were going on, and it passed by 92%. Of the 900 directors, 70 of them voted against it. The rest of them voted for it. And so I think it's a victory for consumers, for buyers and sellers. It's a victory for inclusion, not exclusion. And I think it's a victory for the marketplace as a whole, because the MLS system has been the whole basis of cooperating and working with each other in this system. And what happens when you, as a buyer's agent, tell a buyer that you've got all the listings on MLS when actually you don't have all of them? It creates all sorts of issues out there, especially if you're trying to get into some hot neighborhood that you want to be in and it's not there. So I want to take my hat off to the board of directors for NAR for voting it. I know it was tough because there were so many companies that did not want it, but in the end, the NAR board of directors made a decision that was best for everybody and not just a few. That is my take on it. And rarely you ever hear me talk about the backside of real estate, but this affects everybody. And if you are a seller and you still don't want your property in being marketed to the public, that's okay. You don't have to do it. It just can't be in the MLS, and your agent can't publicly market it, which in my opinion, if you're putting it in the newspaper and you're putting it on Zillow, why wouldn't you want it on MLS? And so if you're trying to keep privacy, you wouldn't put it in any of those other spots. So anyway, thanks again, Board of Directors for NAR. Numbers here again, 281-837-2222. My name is Shad Bogany. I'm here every Tuesday from 6:15 to 7:15. Let me give the numbers out again. Give me a call. All our lines are open. We've got calls again, 281-837-2222. Let's talk about it. If you have questions about what we've just talked about, please give us a call, 281-837-2222. Give us a call. All our lines are open. We've got an open line tonight, but I wanted to bring this subject. You can also reach out to my Facebook page. You can also hit me on Twitter at #BoganyShad. Go to my Facebook page. We are there to help you buy or sell. This show is all about giving you an honest answer to help you make your dreams come true. We're looking, if you're thinking about, you've got investment property, you need a property management, Shad Bogany, our group does that also. The Shad Bogany team will manage your property for you. Just give us a call. If you just want somebody to collect your rent and handle everything and send you a check, give us a call at 713-667-1000. That's 713-667-1000. Give us a call. All our lines are open, guys. We're here to talk about real estate, and we try to give it to you the real deal. We try to tell you what's behind the scenes, what's going on. There was a proposal out about Section 8 renters that encouraging people to accept Section 8. The realtors didn't go down that road. That failed. One thing I'll say about realtors, we are really about private property rights, and whether or not you take Section 8 as a landlord, that's up to you. I don't know why you wouldn't take it, but if you decide it, that's up to you. And so, and I think everything's about an education process of letting people know what's going on. That did not pass, us supporting that. We did get condo rules. I think about a month ago I told you the condo rules, where it's easy to finance condos on FHA. It's easy to spot because condos have to be approved by FHA, VA, or Freddie Mac, or Fannie. Condos are the least expensive homes in Houston. You can buy a condo today for $80,000, depending on where the complex is. You might be able to find one for $30,000, just depending on where the complex is. But to get that approved through FHA, Freddie Mac, or Fannie Mae, they have to meet certain guidelines, where the new rules will allow VA and FA to spot approve. So even though the complex is not approved, they can go in and check everything out and approve just one unit in that process. So I just wanted you to be aware of that. Realtors are really looking out for private property rights. We're trying to make the dream come true for most people. I will also talk about the Good Neighbor Program. And I will tell you the Good Neighbor Program is where realtors give back to the community. We had a realtor who had built a complex for the homeless veterans. He had put together that. Just unbelievable what he was doing with homeless veterans. We had a realtor that was working with people who had brain injuries and giving them a place to be and help and improve. there were a lot of realtors that were out there for sick kids. There was a group, young man out of Canada. He was a realtor there. He had built a whole wing for people with sick kids, providing comfort for the families and all of that, because he had lost a daughter many years ago. So those were the ones that had won the Good Neighbor Award, and they had the Good Neighbor Award for veterans. There was a guy who was a veteran who was going and getting veterans and building houses for them, like Promise Point down in Victoria. They were actually building houses, small, tiny homes for veterans. So we realtors do give back to the community, and a lot of this is never talked about, but we as realtors have decided to start helping and letting people know about these accomplishments that people are giving and sacrificing. It's not always about the money with realtors. Numbers again, 281-837-2222. My name is Shad Bogany. Give me a call. All our lines are open, 281-837-2222. Guys, if you want to find out, before I do my next commercial, let's get Craig. He's a general contractor. Let me get Craig before we go to a break. Hey, Craig, how are you?
Hey, how you doing?
All righty.
Well, I'm not a general contractor.
Okay.
But I wanted to know, do you think it's worth playing the role of a general contractor on some private property that I own?
Yeah, you could if you understand a 2x4 by 1x6. Yeah, you can understand the correct plumbing and all of that good stuff. You'll save some money by being your own general contractor. But I think it's all about, if you're building something or rehabbing something, it's all about the investment that you put in. You just want to make sure it's done right. I see people being general contractors that know nothing about construction. So, but if you know construction, I see nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. I thought years ago you did a general contractor job on your house.
No, I didn't. I didn't do a general contractor. I went out and hired subs to do some work for me. And then I brought an inspector in to make sure that the work was done right, because I wouldn't know a 1x6 from a 2x4. So that's how I handle it.
There's certain risk involved, and I was just trying to get the ins and outs.
It's nothing. The risk is you not knowing what you don't know. That is what the risk is. But if you have any know how to build and know how to do things, but don't have time to do it, I would venture to say hire your general contractor. But if you have some knowledge of building, I see no reason why you couldn't be your own general contractor. But I think you need to be really careful when you're rehabbing, and say you have a drawer, and the drawer goes to the contractor once he finishes the job. You want to make sure that all the subs have been paid, everything, before you release that money to that contractor. So, and if you decide to do it on your own, hire an inspector to come behind you just to make sure that the work is done and meets city codes.
Well, if you're going to act as a general contractor and you plan on borrowing the funds to get the work done, the bank is not going to let you have all that money at once anyway, are they?
No, they're going to set it up in drawers, but you have to make sure that the work is done properly, because the bank just loaned you the money. So if some contractor rips you off, the bank still is going to want their full money. It doesn't matter to them. So to me, if you decide to be that contractor to check and say, yes, everything's okay, I've signed off on it, at least know what you're signing off on, is what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, listen, thank you for your help, and you guys have a good evening.
All right. Thank you for listening. I hope we've been some help to you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Numbers again, 281-837-2222. If you're just flipping through the dial, it's your first time listening to this show, this is the Real Estate Corner. We've been on the air now 29 years, helping buyers and sellers. make decisions, working with you, giving you what's going on in the real estate industry. I try to give you the real deal. My number again is 281-837-2222. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back with the Real Estate Corner. If you're looking for a title company to work with, I'm going to share with you. You need to call Charlene Clancy over at American Title at 5802 Val Verde. She's an excellent escrow officer. She's got a great team with her. She's got Eric. She's got Ronald. And it's located at 5802 Val Verde, right off of Chimney Rock. And title business, you should never buy a house without getting a title policy. You should never take title to property, even if it's given to you, without looking at a title policy to make sure that whoever's giving it to you, that person has a right to give it to you. If you're doing tax liens and you're buying tax sale properties, you might want to have a title policy done so that you'll know what the liens are on the property. So say you go and you do an HOA, and the HOA is selling the property because the people didn't pay for their HOA fees. So you turn around, you buy the property at the HOA tax sale there, or the sheriff's sale on the courthouse steps. You buy it, pay the HOA off, but find out they got a $100,000 mortgage on the deal. Somebody's got to pay it, or that mortgage is going to turn around and foreclose on you because the mortgage is not being paid, or foreclose on the property because the mortgage hadn't been paid. So always get your title policy, or run an abstract of title. Where an abstract of title is that they run the title, but they don't guarantee anything. You just see a list of what your liens are. Numbers again, 281-837-2222. Give us a call. All our lines are open. We're coming up on a station ID break, so give us a call. Numbers again, 281-837-2222. If you have any questions about what I talked about earlier, please don't hesitate to give us a call. If you're looking for a realtor to handle your business, whether it's buying or selling, you need to give the Shad Bargaining team a call at 713-667-1000, 713-667-1000. We handle rentals, we handle for sale, we handle listings. If you want to sell your home, you want to buy a home, you want to build on your own property, just really do appreciate it. You can also catch us on Iconic TV every Saturday morning at 9 and Sunday evening at 8 p.m. Don't go out to our YouTube channel, subscribe to our channel. If you miss a show, you can catch it. One of our shows out there. We're here just to give you as much information. We truly believe that the more information that you have, the more you can make a right decision. And I truly believe you make my job easier when you know more information about what's going on. Because, you know, everybody's out telling you about how to buy a house. Some of them hadn't bought a house in 30 years, but they telling you how to buy a house. And even though it is some aurora about buying a house, the inner workings are always different. And so if you want to know the real deal, call us at 713-667-1000. Let the Shad Bargaining team work with you. We are with Better Homes and Gardens, Gary Green Real Estate, and we are the #1 company in the city of Houston. We have the most market share of any company here in the city of Houston. We don't have all of it, but we got the majority, the most of it. We have the biggest market share here in this city. Numbers again, 713-667-1000. Give us a call. We've got a great team on hand. Let's go ahead, and we're getting ready to do our station ID break, and we'll be right back with the Real Estate Corner. Welcome back to the Real Estate Corner. I just got a call. I was calling. I apologize for missing you. If you want to call back, that's fine. But if I sell a lot for sale by owner, what do you do? Well, the first thing you need to do is determine what the sales price is going to be if you're doing a for sale by owner. And I would probably suggest you get a title company involved in that process. And you can, and for sale by owners work, but typically people who sell for sale by owner make less money. It's almost like having a pocket listing, because if you don't really know what the value is in it, how do you know what the right price is? And that's what a realtor does for you in that process. And of course, you want all the paperwork to be done properly and connecting you in the right places. So that's what a realtor does. But you can do a for sale by owner. There's nothing wrong with doing a for sale by owner. You just need to know the inner workings of real estate, whether it's listing the property, making sure it's marketed. Is it going to be exposed to everybody? If it's not in MLS, as I said earlier, it's not. How many people do you think you're going to get driving by looking at the signs? Or if you had it on MLS, you got 40,000 people there, so you may achieve your highest and best goal of getting the highest and best price for that particular property. But there's nothing wrong with for sale by owners, just as you got do-it-yourself for contractors, people who put their own tile floor in, people who put their own roof in, people who redo their own bathrooms. It is nothing wrong with for sale by owners. But I will tell you, if you want it done right, you need to give us a call over at Better Homes and Gardens, Gary Green, at my number 713-667-1000, and I can guarantee you I'll get you more for your property than if you did it for a for sale by owner. And if you've got an offer that's better than what I think, I'll tell you to go with it. Somebody's doing it for you. Numbers again, 713-667-1000. Give us a call. All our lines are open. And we're here to help you. 281-837-2222, 281-837-2222. So let's talk about what's going on in the real estate market across the country right now. Housing supplies are down in the last 12 months, 2.7%. Homeowners believe that there are more houses for sale this year. Nearly half of all homeowners say there are more homes for buyers to choose than a year ago. Nearly 3 in 5 of those planning to sell in the next 18 months says there are more homes available than there has been. The number one reason to not wait till spring, the supply of listings increased substantially entering into the new year, including new construction, which could lower your demand for your house. The year that works as far as when most listings come on the market will be April, May, and June. I will share with you that one of the things that you're going to see with the new MLS rules, you're going to see a lot of houses being listed on Friday, because that gives them a couple of days to make phone calls before it goes up on the market. Because remember I said one business day has got to be in the computer there. Inventory levels on single family homes have been up and down. The sweet spot was somewhere near January of this year, but actually supplies of a month of homes are going up. New building permits across the country is up 7.7%, and Houston has been leading the country with new building permits. We must continue to beat the drum for more inventory. Home prices are rising too rapidly because of the housing shortage, and this lack of inventory is preventing home sales growth potential. This was Lawrence Young, chief economist for the NAR. New home inventory, home sales are showing activity was up again nationwide about 4.6%, as traditionally slows in the fall season begin, which marks a boost in buyers' interest according to the latest showing time index report. The West, which is until August had experienced 18 consecutive months of home buyers traffic being up, led by 4 regions year improvement of 8.9% increase of buyer activity. The South area was up 6.4%. Midwest were more of a modest increase over year of last year, 8.8%. Buyers are looking for that next home, have faced headwinds of tight inventory in a competitive market, which lowers mortgage rates. The arrival of the fall promised to reprieve. The conditions continue as tightened demands remain strong. This is George Ratu, a senior economist for Realtor.com. We expect the positive momentum in sales to carry over to the fourth quarter early next year. We forecast that the total home sales, including both new and existing homes, will be 5.9 million in 2019, an increase of 6.3 million in 2020. And that's Freddie Mac. They came out with that. See what else we've got here. Depending on the price, you're going to need advice on it. Entry-level homes show the largest decline with the number of home prices under 200,000, dropping 15.2%. Meanwhile, the mid-tier home prices between 200 to 750 dropped by 4.3% year over year. The inventory of the nation's most expensive homes saw a slight increase in inventory of homes selling for more than 750, while here in the Houston area, it's down a little bit. Also, here in the Houston area, the market between 2 to 300 is the hottest market here in the city of Houston there. Mortgage rates, as I said, in the fourth quarter, somewhere around 3.7%. Affordability is still a challenge, guys. Affordability is still a challenge. So let's talk a little bit about home price appreciation going forward. Home price expectation survey said 3.6% appreciation. Mortgage Bankers Association said they see 2019 at 4.3. Zelman and Association and Associates, 3.4. Freddie Mac said home price will be up 3.3. National Association of Realtors predicting 4.3. Fannie Mae is predicting 5.2 going up in home prices. Rents are continuing to go up on a constant basis. So if you're out looking for homes, the rental is continuing to go up. And so if you want my home buyer and seller's guide, all you have to do is send me an email at the easiest email that's out there. That's Shad, S-H-A-D, at Bogany.com. That's S-H-A-D at BOGANY.com. And I'll send you my home buyer's guide. It's a great guide, kind of gives you some updates of what's going on in the marketplace. And I truly believe, and my winter guide is out. So I truly believe that, that the more information you have, the better it's going to be. So my fall guide is out. My winter guide is coming. So please give us a call if you're interested in getting one of those, and I'll send you a PDF. Doesn't cost you anything. It's just something that I'd like to get you and keep you informed. In Texas, we're in a stable market. Homes are selling anywhere but about 31 to 45 days on the market. The only state that has a 61 to 75% days on market is Mississippi. And that doesn't surprise me at all, Mississippi. And but other states are showing stability. Even Georgia, who's always had a high inventory, especially in Atlanta, is selling their homes in 30 days on the market there. So that is what's going on here in the Houston market. New home sales. The majority of new home sales is between 200 and 299,000, 200,000 to 299,000, 19% of the sales. In new home sales, between 150 to 200, 6%. And anything under 150, only 2% of the new home sales. Anything above 300 to 400,000, we're seeing right at 13%. 400 to 499. That's 5% of the market. 500 to 750, we're seeing 7%, and over to 750, we're seeing right at 2% of new home sales out there. Distressed sales are down. Distressed sales are right at about 2% right now. So sales are down in the distressed property sales. Here in the Houston area, where you're seeing distressed sales, is probably houses that have been flooded, have decided not to rebuild. We're also seeing some foreclosures there of people, investors who've been watching too much HGTV, went out and bought these houses and then realized it's been flooded 3 times, and you got to do some things, especially in the city of Houston, before you can get permits to do that. If you're out in the county, you don't need permits, but if you need flood insurance again, you may not be able to get it. So those are some things to talk about, and that's why it's important to hire a professional to be able to answer those questions for you, or be able to get the answers if they don't know the answers. A lot of the information that I'm providing to you with came from Case Schiller home prices and forecasts of prices of change. Seller traffic is very is stable here in Texas, in Alabama, Mississippi, some of these other states. It's weak in Mississippi, Louisiana, Georgia, and Florida. Oregon, it's a little weak, but it's strong in Wyoming. Is one of the strongest states out there in sales. South, North Dakota, Kansas, Oklahoma, New Mexico. The seller traffic is a little weak right there. Months of inventory, and that has a lot to do with months of inventory there. I can't say it's totally bad. What I'm saying is months of inventory is less there. And so for those who are new to the show, I hate to be repetitive, but if you ask me what is months of inventory, you had never listened to this show before, months of inventory, if it's 6 months of inventory, that means that if we didn't sell, it's a balanced market. If it's 7 months of inventory, it is a buyer's market. Anything 6 and below is a seller's market. Anything above 6 is a buyer's market. Now they're beginning to tighten those numbers a little bit, so it's almost be saying if it's 5 months to 6 months, it's a seller's market. Currently, right now, we're at about 4.1%, 4.1 months of inventory here in the greater Houston area. So what does months of inventory really mean? Well, it basically says that if nobody put their house on the market in Houston, we would run out of houses to sell in 4 months. So that's what months of inventory is. And so when you see that, because the paper will sometimes use that as a judge, the more months of inventory you have. Right now across the country, new homes are at 7.4 months. I know when I've been showing new homes, I'm seeing a lot of discounts. Some as high as $20,000, $30,000 off, just depending. The lower the price, the discounts are not as drastic out there. In regards to buyer demand, foot traffic in the last 12 months have been up. Remember, I just said in the African American community, we are going up in home ownership. We went up 1% just about, and that's a beautiful thing out there. The weakest market for buyers in the marketplace is Illinois. Seem to be a little weak. One of the stable markets here is Texas is stable. Alaska's a little weak also, and that may be, and Alaska may have to do with oil and gas a little bit on that end. Interest rates at 3.78. Right now, the average interest rates from all Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, MB, Mortgage Bankers Association, NAR, is all quoting in the fourth quarter around 3.65. That's some great rates. Even Abraham Lincoln, when he financed his house, he didn't have a 3.65 interest rate. Mortgage credit availability is higher now. You still, to me, the killer is those student loans for you millenniums. It's tough out there right now with those student loans. If we can just keep you from, I don't want to say keep you, but if I can help you buy the house before you buy the car, I can guarantee you'll have equity there and it will be strong for you. Average time to close right now is about 30 to 46 days. I have seen some deals go in 2 to 3 weeks, just depending if you're following the rules of what the loan officer wants. FICO scores in the last 12 months, 734 seem to be the average distribution of most people, from 500 to 750. That's 50% of most people. You got a few of you guys at 800. Wow, my hat's off to you. That's 14%. You got a few at 750 to 800. That's 35%. But the majority of people is between 750 and actually 600. And that's what I was telling you about the UHOP loan. You can buy a house with a 600 credit score with no down payment, no EMI, save over $200 on your monthly payment depending on the price point if you use the UHOP program. Average FICO score for FHA is 677. For veterans on the VA, 711. Conventional, 754. All loans, 737. Back-end debt ratio 42% is the average on VA, 43 on FHA, conventional 35, average overall is 37. And you says, well, what is a loan to debt? That's adding all your bills up, divided by your income, and that gives you your debt ratio on that end. The numbers here again are 281-837-2222. Give me a call. I think all our lines open. We got Mike. Is Mike still? Oh, no, that was from a previous call. All our lines are open. 281-837-2222. My name is Shad Boggin, and we're here every Tuesday from 6:15 to 7:15. This is the Real Estate Corner. This is the original Real Estate Corner. If anybody's ever copied my name out there, I'm just want to let you know this is the original one. We've been on the air now 29 years, and I've been told no one in the country has been on a show 29 years talking real estate in the U.S. but us. So I know we're the granddaddy here in the state of Texas, and but my goal when we started this show was to help you understand the rules, the regulations, bring you up-to-date information on it, and give you the real deal. We try not to do a lot of fluff here. We try to give you the real deal and bring guests that are engaging, willing to give you information, be able to answer the hard questions out there. We've got a few minutes left on I'm past my time. Guys, I will see you next week. The producer just told me that I need to get off. I need to close this show down. I'll see you next week on the Real Estate Corner. My name is Shad Boggin, and thank you for listening, and I hope I'll see you in your home Saturday morning. See you next week on the Real Estate Corner.